Hey, good morning, gamers. Welcome to the Gamers Roast podcast. I'm your host, Joshua J. Alongside me,
It's me.
Wesley
It's me.
Lance.
Oh,
I know. I
am I
always,
saying my am I saying my
no, I
name this
always,
week?
whenever.
You
And we're
always
swapped.
introduce me. We are swapped.
I
Hey,
fix
there
it.
we go.
There you go.
We're used to our place in the studio.
Um, it's all good, Zeal. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in. Um, Today is Monday, May 16th. It's
Yeah.
crazy. We're already flying through this year.
Uh-huh.
Episode 42. It's like a lot, but we're cooking, we're cruising, having some fun.
Cooking with gas.
Yee. So sorry it's a little bit later than usual. I just have a lot of crap going on. Still haven't got fully moved in because of a lot of stuff that's going on. But we're getting. So I've been busy with all of that. What's up, Michaela? Um, but yeah, so that's why we're a little bit late. But you know what? We're
Yeah,
gonna roll with it. It's gonna be great.
it's okay. We're good. It's gonna be.
So
I'm glad that we've got an episode that's jam packed with actual stuff to talk about. And we're starting a half hour later than usual. It's gonna be great.
also, I forgot the bag of coffee upstairs.
My
So
dude.
yeah, I'll be right back. Y'all do your
Okay.
thing.
All right. I guess I'm gonna fill time. So we will eventually get to the point that we are professionals on this. So yeah, like I said, we got a lot to talk about. The last couple weeks have been a little light on the gaming news, and then this week Josh sent me like 3 articles, and then I found something I really wanted to talk about in addition to the roast of the week. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff to kind of. We're probably gonna have to speed through some of it because we don't want to be here for like an hour and a half. But maybe we'll actually be able to stay focused this time rather than going off on drugs like we did last week. Hi, I'm back.
Hey. So, um, also, if you couldn't tell, I'm not sitting on a chair because we're moving and have moved chair. So,
You have moved chair.
get this switched. All right. Yeah. So this week we have Intelligentsia. Oh my gosh.
I think
How's
Intelligentsia coffee.
so
It
it's a pretty
smells
cool
pretty
looking.
good.
Yeah, it smells great. It says extraordinarily coffee is our tireless pursuit to discover and foster the best coffees. We travel year round to farms across the globe collecting them. We collaborate directly with farmers, sharing knowledge and creating enduring partnerships. Through
Whew.
through collaboration and creativity, we expand economic opportunity and culinary possibility, bringing you the best coffees imaginable. We believe busy people deserve great coffee. Our ground coffee is a simple way to give you one less thing to worry about. So, I am busy, people.
Yeah.
You know,
I will
so this
say
coffee sounds like it's for me.
the grounds when I took them out of my coffee pot almost seemed like brown sugar. Like they're very like sandy. Like I don't know, the
Yeah,
texture was weird. I don't
yeah.
know if that has anything
So
to do with the flavor of the coffee, but
we'll find
got
out.
my got my Game Boy mug here.
I got my nice looking
Ooh.
glass
Oh,
one.
that smells really good. Okay.
It does. Fingers crossed.
That's pretty good. It's a little.
Hmm. Right off the bat, I
Yeah,
taste a little bit bitter.
I wouldn't say bitter, I would say sour. It's got a little tiny bit of that Starbucksy sort of bite. Once that's back though, I really like the flavor.
Yeah, it's not
It's
bad.
got a it's got a pretty robust flavor.
It's definitely something that I would drink a lot of. Um,
I would drink this. Other than man, I don't know what causes that sour flavor because it's not bitter. It's just a little sour and I don't like that.
yeah, I see. I taste it more in this one than I do the Starbucks coffees. Like I don't
Oh,
taste it a whole bunch in the Starbucks coffees.
oh, I do. No,
So
this is better than Starbucks. It's just I don't know. It's got like one or two things that are holding it back from really being like a thing that I would go buy again and again and again and again. Oh, oh brother. We're gonna have another 7.5, aren't we? Man, no.
I don't know. I don't think I'd throw up the chart and we'll see. Let's see what we got for our stuff.
Yeah, give me a
Yo,
second.
what's going on,
It's
Derek? Hey, man.
Derek. Oh,
Thanks for
I
hopping in, bruh.
I just jammed. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, I can't see anything. My entire browser just jammed. Actually, I think my PC might have just jammed. I can't.
Well, that's not good.
This is fun. This is
Well, you
great.
want to hop out and restart your deal real quick, and then just hop back in?
I cannot do anything right now. Like I can't even.
We're having a few technical difficulties here.
This is new. Oh gosh.
Are you back?
I think so. Hello. That was scary. I almost died.
Hello.
I'm back. Hello, everyone. I have returned. I went to a different universe for a second there. I'm back. I'm good. Okay. That was really weird. Alrighty. So we are looking boy oh boy.
You can't put this with 3 avocados.
I might actually retroactively bump up my 3 avocados to an 8.5.
I won't blame you. I will not blame you.
I am gonna do that just because as I've tasted more coffee. I don't know if I'd put this one at an 8 though.
Did I really put the frosted pumpkin roll all the way up at an 8.5?
You loved that. You went nuts over that.
I'm gonna have to go get some more.
Yeah, especially because you can only get it here. Okay, the fact that I'm still drinking this, even though I know full well that I'm not supposed to drink coffee this late, is a testament that it really does taste good.
Yeah, it's.
Does it taste
I
as
would
good as the Black
definitely.
Rifle?
So
So.
this one was This was $15.
Wow.
And you got. Oh, where's it at?
Multiverse.
Oh, it doesn't say. Anyway, there it is, 12 ounces. So $15, you get 12 ounces. You know, and it
That's
says
not
you're
bad.
supposed to have some hints of milk chocolate, citrus, and apple. I'm wondering if some of that citrus is where you're getting some of that sour.
I think you're right. Yeah. No, that would do it. Just a little bit of that apple. Oh boy, this one's tough. It really is good. Like for a store-bought coffee, it's one of the better ones we've had.
Yeah, I mean, and I got it
Blue
at Target. It
Lion?
was the last bag.
Oh boy, oh boy. See, the problem is I don't know that I would put it over like the Black Rifle.
I know. Okay, so
But I would definitely put it over the
catch you
Shibo.
later, Michaela. Thanks for jumping in.
Bye, Mocha.
Oh wait, is she saying bye because you were like, I don't know.
No, I think
Maybe
she was saying bye because I was jammed. She was just like, bye.
Oh, got you, dude. If you can hear that, I'm so sorry, Vader. Holy crap, dog.
Yeah, you can definitely hear your dog. He's having a time. Are you muted? Did you mute yourself? Is he running around down there? Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I am gonna go ahead. I'm moving the Shibo down. I gotta, man, we really gotta clean up this rating scale because we got way too much clogging the 7.5. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for an 8. This is a really good. No, I don't. Gosh, this one's hard. Gosh, help!
Put mine at an 8. Put mine at an 8.
You're doing an 8?
I'm doing an 8. It's at the low spectrum of the 8. You know, like you got like 8.1, whereas this, that Starbucks sweet
Yeah.
cream cold brew would be at the 8.4. Man, I can't believe I put a Starbucks up all that. Man,
I'm gonna do an 8 too. Maybe I'm just feeling particularly generous tonight. This is a really good coffee. It just tastes really nice. And the sourness is going away the more I drink it.
if Robert was here, I'd ask him to help us rate it, but he's not.
Yeah, he's always got the best insights. This is a good one. I really like this one. Especially being just a coffee that you can buy at Target. Like usually those ones are kind of hit or miss. So, okay. All right, that took way too long and I nearly crashed my laptop and my browser while trying to do it. So, was it worth it? I don't know. Here we are.
Well, hey, I mean, sometimes it's good. A coffee that makes you think that hard about where it should go is a good coffee. It's good coffee.
No, that's true.
All right, so you want to hop into the roast of the week?
Yeah, we're gonna have to book it, man.
Oh,
All
real
right.
fast.
What?
Sorry. Okay, so just so everyone knows, I'm starting a new job next Monday. That being said, it could take a long time. My schedule is going to be up in the air, so we might end up switching the show to Sunday nights. Not 100% sure. Might stick to Mondays. It depends on my job.
Uh,
Um,
Well, we're gonna have to do something other than Mondays once I start up rehearsals.
right,
So
right. So,
we might be doing
so be
Saturday nights
prepared.
too.
Yeah, be prepared for things to change a little bit, but we still will be doing this weekly. But just wanted to get the daily grind out of the way, and yeah, moving on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is just because I wanted an excuse to make fun of Mark Zuckerberg again. Because I don't know, I'm a bitter person. PCGamer.com Meta blurs out upcoming VR headset in hands-on hype video. All right. This is by Katie Wickens. Mark Zuckerberg, the Zuck himself, has been spotted flaunting Meta's upcoming VR headset in a demo video on his Facebook page. But for reasons we can't quite place, the company has decided to blur out the VR headset. Either by way of generating more hype or just being vague for the fun of it, we're still none the wiser about Project Cambria. The bite brought the hands on tour to our attention, asking the important questions. Is there a giant. Okay. Why did I read that? Is there a
Read it,
giant
read it.
is there a giant dong attached to the front of the device? Which honestly, it's kind of what it looks like from the blur.
Giant dong behind the device. No, I'm sorry,
Um,
that's me.
I'm inclined to share their sentiment of cynicism. I mean, why blur out one of the one thing we actually care about in the video? Great, there are adorable critters in the new experience and you can pet them, but show us some of that sweet technology, Zuck. The demo, along with a recent mixed reality preview, shows that the headset will give users a full color pass through so they can see their surroundings better. It's a step up from the colorless pass through some of the best VR headsets today come with. Other than that, we can see at least that the prototype is black, although that could change considering the color scheme we're used to. We also know the upcoming headset will come with eye and face tracking so that your avatar can make eye contact and face expressions, which dramatically improves your sense of presence. And then she ends with superb, but can it run Crisis? It goes on. What's become painfully clear is that the upcoming high-end VR headset doesn't appear to be for gamers like you and I. It's being marketed as a desktop PC replacement for productivity and fun, such as giving long-eared alien scritches or sweating into the VR headset while pretending you're not alone doing exercise. Unfortunately, we gamers are unlikely to see the Oculus Quest Pro come out anytime this year, as Meta's focus remains on Project Cambria. Although we should be seeing four new VR headsets by 2024, which will be an interesting ride as we exodus into our all-encompassing home in Zuck's metaverse. That ended in
I'm
a really,
scared.
yeah. I don't like that. I don't like how that ended. Um, so instead of commenting on the ethical nature of the metaverse or the lack thereof, I'm going to talk about how stupid it is that they blurred out the headset. Like, if they didn't want to show it, just don't show it. Like
Right.
it, I there's a screenshot here, and it literally does look like what the news does when like people like flip people off. They're like, "Oh, gee, I wonder what's behind the blur." Like, what? It looks like that weird blockiness. It's super weird.
Derek said metaverse, multiverse, all
Yeah.
in the same, really. Like I, which speaking of multiverse, Doctor Strange was an amazing movie. For anyone that hasn't seen it, go check it out. But I don't know. It is dumb. It's just like you said. If you're not going to show it, why show it? It's like he wants the clout for it, but then at the same time, it's like he's like, well, I'm not ready to really show. Like, I don't. Is
Right.
he scared someone's going to take his design?
I
Like,
I I have no idea.
I
I'm
mean, if
also
if 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 Mark Zuckerberg's like, here's what our VR headset looks like, and then a year later someone comes out and goes, look, we did this, say a VR headset, it looks the same. It's like you could sue them. Like, I mean, obviously he's the first one. So what is the point behind hiding it? Like, is there a
I
point?
I guess just generating hype. I guess that's the big thing is just hey, you sort of saw it. You saw it blurred on his face. At this point, I feel like Meta has lost a lot of its social clout, and yet it's still this like multi-billion-dollar company that for whatever reason it feels like everybody hates. So I don't understand how they're still making money. But
Well, and the whole thing of like, well, crypto will be involved and all that. crypto's tanked, like like
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
tanked.
Babylon has fallen.
It hurts me a little bit. Actually, a lot. It hurts a lot. But
It'll be
anyway,
it'll be back.
it will.
It
It will.
it
Well,
always comes back. It's
and
like
it
the
doesn't help
Hydra.
that people make mistakes. Like, did you see someone sold one of those monkey looking? Oh, what are they called?
Oh, the red ape or the red apes.
Well, yeah, but what's the NFT? Sold
Oh
one of
yeah.
those NFT things. It was supposed to sell for 200,000. He made a mistake, sold it for 200. Just $200, and it's worth 200,000. Like,
Sorry, I feel really
oh,
bad laughing at this stuff, but honestly, it just makes me laugh because this metaverse is an incredible marketing game plan for an idea. Yeah, it's an incredible marketing plan if it didn't sound like Skynet. Like if it
well,
didn't
and it could.
if it didn't sound like the evilest thing in the world, I would be on board. But this literally sounds like the supervillain plan. Like this I I hate
And
it.
I'm not saying I'm necessarily against it. Like, it would be really cool idea, like Tron and Ready Player One and things like that. To me, sound really cool. Like
Yeah,
getting
at
into
what
those worlds like
cost?
that. I don't care. Take it. Take my money. Take my social life. Take my soul. I don't care. You can have it, right?
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm worried about.
but no, I do think it'd be really cool. Like, used in the right way, I mean, you could allow people that have disabilities to experience walking with their grandchildren again. A father
Yeah,
being
I
able to
mean,
walk his bride down the aisle again. Like, yes, it's in the metaverse, but if we can get it to where it blurs that line of reality and gaming, that could be a really good thing. But it could also be a really bad thing. I feel like I'm over here. I'm like the. I feel like Jurassic Park. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. But also Jurassic Park was so cool. Like, you get to go see dinosaurs.
I wonder what Jeff Goldblum thinks about the universe.
I don't know. Like, it'd be fun to talk to him about it and see what he had to say. Maybe he'll come on the show. Derek, no, I'm good.
Yeah, we're gonna get Jeff Goldblum on the show. That's a great idea.
I mean, if we get this show up there a little bit more,
Yeah, just a little bit,
just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Add like 10 zeros to our current view count.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're talking about, Michaela, is the metaverse, and this just I don't like it. This is weirding me out, and I don't understand. No, we said we've been talking about metaverse.
I think you did say universe, but I think we
Did
all
I say
knew you meant
universe?
the.
I
I
meant
think we all knew
metaverse.
you meant the. I knew what
Because
you were talking about. I was just
we're
rolling with
making fun of Meta blurring out this stupid. Anyway, we got off topic. I was just making fun of him for blurring out his weird headset. That
We're making fun of Mark Zuckerberg for everything because he is a roast.
even
Alien
though
looking guy.
he's definitely going to be taking over the world through this thing, because we're all just going to go along with it, I guess.
It's easier to say yes than explain why I'm saying no. That type of one of those situations. All right. Well, hey, you want to throw us into the first article, the one you actually
Sure.
were going to send me?
Yes.
I
So
want to go that one part.
this is something I think is super cool. This is also PCGamer.com. Here's a demake of Portal for the N64 by Jonathan Bolding. Demakes are super fun and cool, as most recently was exemplified by Bloodborne PSX, a demake that captured the imagination of lots of us. Well, here's my new obsession to watch. Programmer James Lambert is working on a demake of Portal that runs on real N64 hardware. The jagged-edged polygons of Lambert's Portal demake are a delight to watch, and this is just the first video to include a working portal gun. Just a month ago, he had little more than graphics. Over the course of the latest video, he highlights the portal gun itself. Lambert's most entertaining gag is figuring out how far he can go with recursive rendering in the portals. Quote, I can actually go up to 4 layers right now, quote, unquote, he says at one point before cutting in footage where he has 5 portals and then 6. It is frankly shocking that this kind of rendering even works on the N64. It then becomes more shocking as he renders 14 layers of rendering, where the portals at the far end are barely larger than a handful of pixels. It's an interesting project, and I think one to keep your eye on if you like these kinds of demakes and programming shenanigans you pull off to get various things working. You can keep your eye on what Lambert is doing via YouTube, and you can also check out the code he's using on GitHub, where it's clear that he's done long projects in and around the N64 hardware space or software space. I love stuff like this. So demakes are a thing that have been a thing for a while. Somebody made a version of Halo that runs on an Atari 2600. Like, it's incredible what people do when they go back to old hardware. But Portal is one of my all-time favorite games. It's Portal 2 is one of the only games that I would say was a tastemaker for me. Um, and seeing it done on the N64 of all things, this is just an incredible video. I watched a little bit of it, and it legit, it you can tell this is Portal, but it's running on an N64, and it just is so weird to me. And I think it's an example of the dedication that people have and the creativity they have. And I just kind of wanted to shout this guy out because this stuff deserves to be seen more. I don't know. It's just so cool.
Some people are so smart. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's people like that that really can change everything around. Like if he can take a game like that and put it on the N64, like why doesn't he have a job doing something with an actual gaming company? You know what I mean?
Yeah, who
Like
knows?
I don't know. That is really cool though, because then
I
you
think it's
could like, does he sell it? Can you go buy it, or like what is it?
hey mystery.
What's
As
going on,
far as
Mystery? How you doing, man?
as far as I know, he has not made actual carts, but he's the code is available on GitHub. Like, you can see the whole release. So if you wanted to compile it into a ROM and put it on a cart, you probably could.
Dude, is it
Yeah.
free?
Yeah, you can. I mean, the code is. You have to compile it
Right.
yourself. But yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it looks like it's free. So I think stuff like this is really cool because you see a lot of especially in the way in like the last couple years or so, you see a lot of people intentionally going for that retro look. You actually see it weirdly enough with a lot of creepypasta games. So first thing that comes to my mind is Petscop, which is this like online video series about this unreleased PS1 game about collecting different pets. But as it goes along, obviously it gets creepier and like a story starts unfolding. Petscop is really cool and it's intentionally made to look like it's for the PS1. Another person made a Siren Head fan game that also looks like it's on the PS1, and it gives it a certain edge that I really like. There's just something about that graphical style done well that is just really
Right.
appealing to me. So seeing one of my all-time favorite games running on N64 hardware, I just wanted to give this guy a shout out. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
No, that is really cool. Hey, Mystery, no problem being late, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Glad you're here. But no, that is really cool. Like the people can go and recreate things and just put them on old consoles like that. I
Yeah,
really do want to get to the point. I need to go back and get all the old consoles I used to have. Like I wanted the Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, and I want to get like both the big thick PlayStation 2 and the thin PlayStation 2.
I actually
Um,
just bought a PS2 Slim a couple months ago. I still have to make sure that it actually works. I have to set it to component mode because it's set to AV
mm.
mode. So I just got a controller
Well,
for it. I haven't actually tried it yet, but
and I don't even mind necessarily getting them to play. Like I want them to like set on the shelf too. Like you know what
gotcha.
I mean? Like I
Yeah.
want to get the original Xbox, but I want the Halo edition.
Oh, good luck with that.
It's like a almost see through type green. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I want one. But I want to get through those. I don't know. To me, like I think it'd be cool to be able to collect them.
It
But
would
we'll
be.
see.
It'd be a money consuming hobby though.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So it would definitely take time. But by the time I'm 80 and I can have all my consoles, it'd be great. It'd be great to be in the metaverse and be like, look at all of my things that I have, but that are fake. It'd
Feel
be
like
great.
there are short stories about the metaverse.
um, well, another thing. No, there's no segue for this one. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go. I was gonna really try to friggin' think of something, but anyway, this is a little bit of sad news. Um, Made me almost cry a bit, but it's fine.
I mean, it's not
But
surprising.
yeah, it's yeah, yeah. Polygon said, did I actually say this is one of my points on the New Year's podcast that we did when we did that when we were predicting what's going to happen this year and
Oh, this is one of
we
your
did
points?
I'm trying to think of it. If I either said it
I
was
can't
for sure coming
remember.
out or wasn't. I remember I specified this game. But anyway, we'll have to go back and look. Phil Spencer apologizes as Bethesda Delays raise questions about Xbox pipeline. Fans are angry over Starfield and Redfall delays, but no one wants the next Cyberpunk, which is true. This is by Ollie Welsh. Game delays happen all the time, and they're always disappointing. But this week's announcement of delays to two of Bethesda titles and Xbox console exclusives, Starfield from Bethesda Games and Redfall from Arcane, has hit particularly hard. The two games were given 2022 dates during the last year's Xbox Summer Showcase and represent the first real fruits of Microsoft's $7.5 billion acquisition of Bethesda. They will be the first Bethesda games since the buyout not to be released on PlayStation and to be added on day one to Xbox Game Pass library. Starfield, in particular, particularly was hotly anticipated, being the first major RPG from the makers of The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and Fallout 4
Yeah,
in 7
careful.
years.
It's not Elden Ring.
Oh my gosh, I know. But I've been playing that game so much it's stuck in my head. Um, Both have now been published to the first half been pushed to the first half of 2023. Crucially, this leaves Xbox without any significant releases from its internal studios scheduled for 2022. Fans are naturally not happy. Last year, Microsoft promised it would bring at least one first-party game every quarter to Game Pass. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer took to Twitter to offer support for the delay as well as a helping of contrition.
Contrition.
Okay, these
Like
decisions.
sorrow. Like he's saying he's sorry.
Gotcha. Quote, these decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. We delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work better to meet those expectations. End quote. Um, so he sounds like Phil Spencer, I truly think is a good guy. I think he loves games. I think it hurts him when he can't release these games.
Yeah.
Um, but like he said, I don't want another Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk was okay. It was like there was but
I feel like you had a good time with it just because like that was like your game though.
well, I did, but I was able to look past the stuff. Like it could
Yeah.
have been amazing. Like I guess if I compared it to a game like let's just say Elden Ring, right? That just came out, the
Yeah.
Cyberpunk wouldn't even compare. Cyberpunk is like a nice indie title compared to Elden Ring. So when you play a game
Yeah,
like
that's
Elden Ring and
true.
you see like what potential and like the Elden Ring lived up to the hype and delivered and so much more than it should have. And the care and like love that they gave that game, you realize how much of a fire, that was Cyberpunk. So yes,
Yeah.
Cyberpunk had some love and it was okay. It was worth playing. Looking back on it, was it worth $60? No, it wasn't. It was worth maybe 40, and
Right.
that sucks for a AAA title, something that was supposed to be hotly anticipated. So I don't want
Yeah.
that for Starfield. I want Starfield to become like Elden Ring. I want to devote so much time to it. Like Elden Ring, I will get rid of my sleep. Like I will by far play Elden Ring till the ends of the earth and give up sleep for that. I did not want to do that for Cyberpunk. Uh, Zeal, while I keep bringing this, explain what you mean by it not being a fair comparison. Because I do want to, I want to see what you have to say about that. But continuing on with the article, it says, "But what are those expectations, and why is the conversation around them so fraught? A delay for a title is as complex and ambitious as Starfield is hardly unprecedented, and such announcements are usually met with a fair proportion of resignation, and a delay game can eventually be good, but a bad game is bad forever," type of quote. That was certainly the case with the recent and similar delay to what has been Nintendo's flagship 2022 title, a sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It has been less so with Starfield and Redfall. The issue here is that Xbox's empty 2022 schedule is indicative of the long road Microsoft faces in turning Spencer's years long studio acquisition spree, which accumulated this year in an astonishing $68.7 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard, into actual software. In this space of 4 years, Microsoft's gaming arm has expanded into a constellation of studios of unprecedented size and scope, and there are legitimate questions to be asked about the Xbox organization's ability to manage this massive development pipeline. And that is a key question and a key point to bring up. Can they handle all of this? Can they handle so much going on? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Can Xbox meet the demand of all of these studios combined to be able to give every studio that they have now under their belt the recognition they need, the time they need, like get the games out? Like we expect a lot from now one company that was originally okay. We need some from this company, this company, this company, this company. Now we need it from the same company,
Right.
and that's going to be difficult. Um,
All right, so we got two
the
conversations going on here. We got a conversation comparing Cyberpunk and Elden Ring, and we got the conversation about can Xbox handle the amount of games that they have to release. These both could be very big conversations. I
so
have not
what
played either Cyberpunk or Elden Ring, so if we go that direction, I will have no input. Just saying.
Well, then let's do the Xbox. Let's tackle Xbox first, and then
Okay.
we'll tackle the Elden Ring Starfield.
Okay. Um, I think it's very interesting to see. Yeah, like so. As the article says, this leaves Microsoft with no big ticket releases in 2022 because their big ones were Starfield and what was it? What was it? Red Dawn, Red something, Redstone. No, not Redstone.
Oh,
That's Minecraft.
uh,
Redfall.
yeah.
Redfall. Those were their two big ones. Those were their big hitters. They have now nothing because of the delay. I am glad they are delaying it if they really feel like it needs to be delayed. Definitely agree with Shigeru Miyamoto on that one. Bad game will always be bad, but a delayed game could eventually be great. I know it's a little bit of a tired quote at this point, but it rings true most of the time. Sometimes a game is delayed and it still ends up being crap. But you know what? At
Cyberpunk.
least they tried. Yeah. Um, I think so. On the one hand, the fact that these studios are still operating as not independent studios, but individual studios underneath Microsoft's arm would theoretically mean that Microsoft doesn't need to micromanage them. They continue on as they are creating games. Microsoft just handles the marketing and the launching of them. On the other hand, Microsoft needs to QA all of these things because they're representing Microsoft. So if they come out and it's a half-baked product, that doesn't necessarily reflect on the developer. That reflects on Microsoft now.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to now figure out how to manage and, in a way, micromanage all of these things. And I'm not saying that like Phil Spencer hasn't thought about this with, the amount of purchases they've been making, but we are in a weird place in the gaming sphere where now all of a sudden most smaller studios are going to be owned by Sony or Microsoft or Take Two, I guess. I think Take Two or Epic. It's going to be those four, I think. I don't think Nintendo's going to buy anybody. That does not feel like a Nintendo move. I think they're going to keep doing their own thing. They have their own market. Nintendo is just off in the corner making Mario games, and people keep buying them and having a great time. But they're
They're like
not
the quiet kid at school. Like they're just
yeah. Mm-hmm.
by
They're the
themselves.
quiet kid at school who brings a nuclear reactor to the science fair.
Yes. Everyone's like, "Oh, check out all our cool systems!" Like Nintendo Switch, and you're like, "What? What?"
Sorry, this is going to be completely off topic. Remember that photo Aaron sent us that was all the controllers, and it was just like PlayStation, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Xbox, change is good, and then it showed all of the Nintendo controllers, and it was just like Nintendo parkour.
Yeah,
I've
it's
always
just
loved
oh
Nintendo
gosh.
controllers. Anyway, um, I think it's going to be those three. It's going to be Epic, Microsoft, and Sony, and Take Two is going to keep buying random things in the middle there. Um, so this is a weird space because we went from independent studios creating games and then finding big publishers to the publishers themselves owning the studios now. I
Well,
still don't know how I feel about this, honestly, because this is feeling more and more like a media conglomeration thing. That's true. Game Pass is doing well, but the problem with Game Pass is again, every game that gets released on Game Pass reflects on Microsoft. And so if Microsoft is not able to provide and it has to be a constant stream because it's a subscription service. They have to keep taking away games and adding games to keep it fresh. In the same way Spotify keeps taking away and adding stuff. Um,
Well, and I think what I want to go back to what you said about Xbox, about everything kind of reflecting on them. They're going to get a lot of great press for games that are good, right? But we all know that people complain a lot more than they praise.
yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
they are going to get so much crap, and it's always going to be Phil Spencer can't do it. He paid too much. He's failing. The company's going under. All these things when in reality it's not, right? Like he has enough good things coming out, but those bad things that are going to be popping up, there's going to be so many of them because of everything. It's almost like in Civilization when you expand too quick, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you've
And
got a
then they
lot of
just
really
steamroll
weak.
you,
That's actually a really good comparison because you have a lot of
right?
weak
Like
cities who aren't really able to, like, you have a lot of cities, but none of them are producing because the resources are spread too thin and you're not able to devote your attention to each one when you need to.
And is he
I'm
going
a
to require the same amount of production from the bigger studios as he is his smaller studio? You know what I mean? He has to have good balance. Like you can't expect a studio you brought on of say 100 people to work the same as one that has 10,000 people,
right.
you know, and it just man, it's going to be difficult for him. If he can pull it
Yeah.
off, it'll be great. But he's already delayed two of his biggest games that were supposed to come out this year and show that he can do it, and it's kind of not looking great.
Did I want to double check something? Okay, no, it's just speculation. I couldn't remember if Sony had said they were buying Squeenix because I was thinking when you mentioned big studios, I was thinking Square Enix. If they get bought, that's going to be huge. If anybody
That would be
buys them, it will be Sony though. Microsoft won't buy Squeenix. That'd be
no,
so
I think
weird.
they're yeah, and I think they're slowing down their buying. I
Mhm.
say slowing
I
down. I mean they had like almost $90 billion worth of purchases. So
Yeah, I we're in a weird space. I don't know. I feel like Phil Spencer wants to make it work. Whether or not his motives are pure or not, I don't know. I like to think that maybe he's, a decent guy who just wants to make games, but maybe he's another greedy billionaire. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, I still don't know how I feel about the consolidation of all of these studios. And I feel like we're starting to see some of the cracks show in the business model. And whether or not these are just growing pains or an actual indication that something is wrong with the way this is going, I don't know. We might, oh boy. No, that's a hot take. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Hot take. Worst case scenario, we might see another video game crash like we did in the 80s, right after the Atari. So, for those of you unaware of video game market history, I'm going to grossly oversimplify this. Video games hit a boom in the late 70s, early 80s with like the Magnavox Odyssey, the Atari, the ColecoVision, the first gen of consoles got a huge boom, and then the market got saturated because of a slew of low effort, glitchy, unfun titles. A lot of people blame ET on the 2600 for being the cause of the crash. It really was just indicative of what caused the crash, which was a bunch of rushed licensed titles that were blatant cash grabs. Everybody stopped playing video games because nobody wanted them anymore. Infamously, Atari took a bunch of its ET carts and buried them in a landfill because they weren't selling. No, seriously, they went and dug them up just a couple of years ago. They've been sitting there for like 25 years. Um, the only thing that saved the video game market, and this is going to sound stupid. I promise I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, but really, what saved the market was the NES because Nintendo came out and said no, and they build what's fascinating about the NES is the way they build it. They build it as not a toy, but like a video entertainment system. They didn't want to build it as a video game console because they knew that had a lot of baggage. So they build it as like an the Nintendo Entertainment System. They even remodeled it so it was released as the Famicom in Japan. They remodeled it in the US to make it look more like a VCR so that people associated it more with a different kind of entertainment system. And that's what saved it. And then, of course, the Genesis came along, and the market between Sega and Nintendo kind of revitalized it. Then you had PlayStation and Xbox, and we get to where we are today. We might see something similar to that if we're getting to the point where studios are just cranking out games to pre. I think they tried get. Was it the NES they tried giving the internet? Nintendo actually had a system in Japan to hook up the Super Nintendo to broadcast so that you could like live stream games to your NES. It was fascinating. Anybody wants to look it up, look up the Nintendo Satellaview. It's very fascinating. They were
Is that
streaming games.
is the NES the one that you could do a bunch of attachments to it?
The Genesis had a ton of attachments.
That's what it was, because they
Um,
even had an Ethernet port attachment.
They probably no the NES. Well, the Super Nintendo had it too. And all of the first gen consoles did. The Genesis had the 32X. It had the CD. All of this stuff. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Point is, if we get to the point that we're seeing the market get saturated with a lot of glitchy cyberpunky esque titles, and I don't want to keep hating on cyberpunk because from what I heard, the game had heart. It was not a low effort title. It was just very ambitious. But if we see a lot of games that are rushed out without being finished, people might start losing interest. We might see another video game market crash. And I think games have solidified themselves in pop culture to the point. Wait, what? Hold your chicken, KFC. Nintendo was way ahead of you? I'm confused.
Need explanations.
Yeah, please explain, Michaela. I'm very confused. um, um, I don't think that video games will go away. I think they've solidified themselves too much in the market to go away. But we might see this business model get broken up very quickly. And that's all I'm going to say on that because I've been talking for like 10 minutes and I don't know if I've made any sense.
No, you have, and it will definitely be
Chicken
interesting.
warmers. They didn't make a chicken warmer. I forgot about the KFC console though.
It'll definitely be interesting to see where they do go from here, and like kind of see how it all plays out. I do want to jump back though to this right here.
Oh yeah, we
It
got to
said
get to
Elden
this.
Ring doesn't have a 1/6 of the depth of Cyberpunk.
16th. He said
1/16.
16th.
I said, yeah, okay, so even worse. But and then he went on to say how Cyberpunk is a breathing city and the Souls mechanic carries Elden Ring. Cyberpunk was a unique Blade Runner style experience, even though it failed to meet the expectations of true roleplay. So, here's the thing Cyberpunk and Elden Ring are two different things. I get that. Um, Having beaten both Cyberpunk and I'm one boss away from beating Elden Ring, when I say that Cyberpunk sucked in different things is when I'm running down the street and I go to talk to someone and a dude just T poses, floats into the middle of the street, gets hit by a car, but the car goes through him. Then the car flips up and just keeps flipping and flying up, 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 up and away. It's broken.
That kind of
The
ruins
game's
the
broken.
immersion a little bit.
When I go to talk to someone and he's like, "Ha," and just T poses and is like talking to me like this, the game's broken. When I can't do certain quests because it's locked me out because of a glitch, the game's broken. It's things like that that really irritate me. And so visually, Cyberpunk is probably one of the most beautiful games I've seen. The way the lights shine, the way the reflections, everything about that game is very, very beautiful. And you can definitely get immersed into this city. But it still it felt copy and paste. It didn't feel legit. When I walked around a corner, it seemed like the last corner. When I walked into a park, it seemed like the last park. It just didn't really make me feel like I was in this breathing city that they did. Now, certain sections of the city you could tell got a lot of love, and yes, was there, but there would be doors you'd go and this guy'd be like, yeah, just walk through this door and we'll start, doing something or whatever. And so you'd go and you'd hit the button, you'd hear the door open, but the door wouldn't open. Come to find out, it was a quest that they decided not to put in the game that you could parkour to get to that door, talk to the dude to start the quest, but never actually be able to play it because they didn't finish the quest. They
Oof.
just didn't take it out. They just thought they made it to where you couldn't get there. But when I see a dude on a balcony and there's like broken up pieces of pottery, and I'm like, oh, I could get up there and talk to him. You get up there and you talk to him. You're like, oh, this is a secret thing. Like, and it's nothing. It's just they didn't finish the quest line, so they just took it out. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't even take it out. They just left it blank. That's frustrating. And then when you go over and you play Elden Ring, and the few glitches here and there that happen, they patch day one. and then a week later they have another patch. The next week they have another patch, and then the week
Mhm.
after that, like they're fixing everything that comes up to where I've played through Elden Ring, and it seems pretty much flawless. Like there's people would be like, oh well, this blade's broken because it does this much damage. It's way overpowered. They bring it down, or this thing seems overpowered or not overpowered. Like they've been very proactive in messing with their game to keep it going right.
Right.
They have a good timeline for when they're wanting to release DLC. Like if I walk into a cave, there's something in that cave. There's not just an empty cave ever in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
There, you go to a thing of ruins, there's never just empty ruins. Like there's something either hidden or buried, or you have to find a secret wall, or there's a giant to fight that'll give you something. Everything Elden Ring is so dense with just lore and quests and NPCs and just stuff, right? Every time I walk around a tree, there's something there. Like I spent so much time roaming through this forest, and my friends like, why are you just like looking at all this stuff? Like just ride through and go back to the next thing. Like there's nothing there, only to find a new sword,
Mm.
or ride through a blizzard and run up on a giant, kill the giant, and there's a treasure chest over there that I would never have found. There's no waypoint, there's nothing. Like it's just there. And I'm like, oh, I found this, and people are like, oh, how'd you find that? Like where'd you go? It just that's where I say I want another game like Elden Ring, and if delaying Starfield gives me that, then I'm going to be excited. I
Mhm.
don't want to fly through space, go to another planet, to run to a single building, talk to a guy, get back in my ship, and leave, and not have any interest in exploring that planet because there's nothing there. I
No
want to
Man's
look
Sky has
around
entered the
every.
chat.
Huh?
No Man's Sky has entered the chat.
Oh, right, right. I want to be able to look around every rock and expect a treasure chest or a giant or something, because that can be a thing.
Right.
I don't want to walk around like in Cyberpunk where there's a bunch of NPCs but no one to talk to, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not alone, but I feel alone. Whereas
Right.
at least in Elden Ring, you're mostly alone, but you don't feel like that. Like
Well, when you find somebody, it means something.
yeah, and there's enough people to find to feel connected to the entire world. Every single person in Elden Ring is somebody,
Right.
has some quest, has someone they know, has a reason for being there. There's no one in Elden Ring that has no purpose.
Mhm.
Like, and that's even down to a little monkey, has purpose. He's just a
Yeah.
bush. He becomes not a bush, and you talk to him, and there's purpose. You know, I don't know. That's what I want. Just I don't know. That's why I say Elden Ring is so much better. And that's what I'm comparing. Is not even so much the game versus game comparison, just the fact that Cyberpunk was broken.
Right.
Elden Ring wasn't. Like polish the game. Cyberpunk would have been great if I didn't lose immersion because people were T-posing and floating and quests were half built.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's an issue.
I'll leave that
Oof. Wow.
there.
That's a lot. Like I said, I've not played either one, so I got nothing to add there. That makes sense to me. And I don't think Cyberpunk was a bad game. I just think we've got a Macbeth situation where it's about the folly of ambition. Like
Mhm.
they had a lot of ambition and they just weren't able to follow it up because it was just too big.
Well,
It's
and
like,
they wanted it to be. It was based off a D&D game,
yeah.
right? So they wanted it to feel like that, and I wanted to experience that. But I don't know if we're there yet to where we can
Mm-mm.
input everyone's choices of whatever you want to do into a game.
Right.
There's just so much variability, like incredible amounts of variability that I don't think we'll ever get to a point, where I can just enter a game and it'd be like, okay, whatever, literally whatever you want to do, you can do.
Well, until you get to the point where you've got computers capable of basically simulating a universe. No.
Exactly. And once we get there, then you have to ask yourself, are we in one? Because if we can make it, who's to say someone didn't make it
I think
before
there's
us?
a theory about like when you are simulating a universe and the people in your simulated universe become capable of wondering if they're in a simulation, have you just created life? Like I think there's actually like a philosophical experiment about that.
when
Which,
well, it's like it's Free Guy, right? He
yeah,
realizes
no,
he's in a game,
exactly.
and then at that point, when a computer can consciously figure out that he's been created and have emotions, I, I
Oh
would
boy.
I would say more like animals. They're more like animals to me. I don't know. They don't have a soul, but also that's when you get to the point of being like, okay, so what rights would those things have? And do they deserve to have life, or do they deserve to be treated like insects?
How did we get from Phil Spencer apologizing for Starfield's delay to here? Eh,
Uh, but
gosh.
that's a huge, deep conversation that I want to get into
You can
someday, but
tell
not
that
today.
we're back in the mood to do this podcast because we're back on weird tangents. This is 2 weeks in a row we've been doing weird tangents.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, we
You know what, mystery? It's because one leads to the other, okay? He says 1 week we talked about cocaine and the next week philosophy. How do you think most philosophy gets done? It's because most philosophers drink a lot of alcohol.
I was gonna say do cocaine.
Also that, honestly, I feel like probably
Oh man.
philosophy is a weird discipline, man. Oh boy,
Yeah,
we've been going for almost an hour. I don't do we have time for these last two things?
probably not. But we can
We
talk
might be
about
able
them
to.
next week if we need to.
Yeah.
Or was there one you wanted to really talk about right away?
No, not particular. I mean, maybe just the guy that got 7 years for messing up his company.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we
You
could
want me to
talk
go
about
into it, or you want to
No,
go into it?
I'll go into it real quick. I'm just gonna read this and we can talk about it and then we're gonna be done. It's PC Gamer again. I just again think this is kind of funny. IT admin gets 7 years for well, I mean, it's not funny. The guy went to prison,
I
so
think that guy's not laughing.
probably not. IT admin gets 7 years for wiping his company's servers to prove a point. By Dave James. Han Bing allegedly felt undervalued after his security warnings were ignored and decided to prove his point by trashing 4 financial servers. An indignant IT admin, seemingly aiming to prove the lax security his employer had hitherto ignored, proceeded to delete a bunch of vital financial databases and has subsequently been given 7 years in prison as a result. It's what's known in the IT trade as, quote, cutting your nose off to spite your face, unquote, or inadvisably hulking out on a server you're known to have access to and have already complained about. Han Bing, a database administrator for Lianjia, a Chinese real estate brokerage previously known as HomeLink, was allegedly one of only 5 people in the security team with access to the company's financial system databases. So, when someone logged in with root access to Lianjia's final financial system and deleted the lot, the company already had a handful of suspects. 4 of the 5 handed over their laptops and passwords immediately, while Bing refused to hand over his password, claiming that it held private information. He agreed to access the device for the company's investigators while he was present, and no incriminating evidence was found on his hard drive. The company, however, claimed the attack could be done by simply connecting to the server in a way that would leave no residual trace on the client laptop. Subsequent electronic forensic analysis of the company's server logs, alongside the use of the company's CCTV footage, was able to link records held on the server with the host name of Bing's MacBook Yggdrasil, as well as certain MAC and IP addresses linked on his computer. With all the evidence in hand, the Beijing Tonga Fajhang Forensic Identification Center, holy crap, that's a long name,
You did.
uh, concluded none of the other potential suspects could be linked to the attack on June 4th, 2018, and Han Bing was therefore found guilty of damaging computer information and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Initially, that feels a bit harsh on the guy, but he did basically destroy 4 different servers, salting the earth so nothing could be recovered, and grinding the company's operation to a halt. It then had to pay some $30,000 as amends for the fact that Liangjia employees were left without pay for an extended amount of time, which is also pretty harsh.
Mm.
I don't even know what to say about this other than this guy lost it. Apparently, he had complained about the security risks and just decided to show that there were security risks by hacking his own company.
It's it's one of those things where it's like, I get it, but bro, you screwed up.
Yeah.
Buy a new computer. Like, do something. Don't use your own computer that's gonna have your name on your MacBook and be like, yeah, this guy did. Like, he didn't
Yeah.
think it through. I
No.
mean, and the way he did it too, it's like going up to a gas station owner or whatever and being like, "Hey, just so you know, your pumps aren't safe." And he's like, "Look, they're fine." And it's like, "No, watch, go over and light one on fire. It explodes and like just burns to the ground." And you're like,
Yeah, destroys
I
the
told you
yeah.
it wasn't safe." It's like, well, you just
Why would
don't
you
do
do that?
that. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, it feels a little bit bad to laugh at because 7 years in prison is a pretty harsh sentence, but his actions
He'll
affected
get
a lot
out.
of people.
I'm sure he'll get out with like good behavior or something like that. Like,
This is China we're talking about.
he'll die in there.
Okay.
He's gone. He's gone. It's over.
So anyway, just thought it was a weird story to wrap things up. This has been a roller coaster of an episode.
Imagine that story though in prison. It's like, what you in for? I was right. It's like, what?
Being
Yep.
right.
People don't like it when you're right. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
some
no,
people are,
that's
but
true.
some people are so stubborn. You know, you run into someone that has to be right, and you're like, "Nah, it's fine," and they're like, "No, it's not," and you're like, "Look, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it." And they're like, "I'm right," and you're like, "Look, okay, I don't care. It's gonna be fine." And they're like, "I'm gonna prove it. I'm right." Like they will.
Mhm.
He literally said goodbye to my life just so I can show you that I'm right. Like
Right. Yeah.
he wanted to be right that bad, that bad. I don't know. It's almost like sometimes it becomes oh, what's it called when you can't help but do something? Like say you tap the wall with one hand, you tap it with the other hand. Almost OCD about being right.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah,
like,
you got to prove yourself.
I gotta do it. Like if I don't do it, I'm gonna explode. Like
I don't
anyway.
know, man.
Well, hopefully it was worth it.
Whew.
Hopefully it was worth it.
I hope he finds it worth it.
Hopefully he's in prison going, I was right. Joke's on them.
Oh boy, sorry, my brain is exhausted after all of that. That was a lot. We covered a lot.
We really did. We really and on a week that was filled with good news. Everybody though, just so everyone knows, stay tuned for I think it's June 12th. They're doing an Xbox Summer event. So
Oh yeah,
excited to see that, like Bethesda stuff, and hopefully they show a little bit more. Even though we're not going to get it this year, hopefully they show a little bit of Starfield and kind of where that's going.
yeah.
If they give me a taste, right? Give me a trailer, give me a little bit of gameplay. Like I'll be chill. I'll be chill. But we'll have to see. But thanks everybody again for coming out, watching the podcast, dealing with our shenanigans and our tangents. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys, everyone who supports the channel. It means a lot. It really, really helps us out. Like we enjoy doing this. It gives us a little reprieve from our day and our week. So we hope we give that to you guys as well. So again, continue to drink lots of coffee, play lots of video games, and come back every week to get your dose of video game. So we'll catch you guys later.
Adios. Bye bye.